Ranger Sam had been patrolling the desert since early morning. The sky was clear, painted in shades of gold and orange, and the heat of the sun made the sand shimmer. He had been walking for hours, following a path he knew well. The desert was quiet most of the time, but today, something felt different. The air carried a strange stillness, and even the birds that sometimes flew across the horizon were missing. Sam scanned the horizon with his binoculars. A faint shimmer caught his attention far ahead. At first, he thought it was just the reflection of the sun on sand, but as he walked closer, he realized it was something solid. Half buried in the sand was a rusty metal door. Its edges were sharp, and sand had piled high around it as if it had been forgotten for years. He walked carefully toward the structure. It looked like a subway entrance, although Sam had never heard of a subway in the middle of this desert. The door was rectangular and heavy, with strange markings etched into the metal. He crouched down, brushing away the sand. The markings looked old, but he could not recognize what they meant. Some symbols seemed like letters, but others were shapes he had never seen before. Sam took a deep breath and reached for the handle. The metal was cold under his hand, and the door creaked slightly as he tested it. It was locked, but not completely. With a little effort, he pushed it open just enough to peek inside. The tunnel below was dark, but Sam could see faint flickering lights far ahead. The air that rose from the opening was cooler than the desert air, and it smelled damp and earthy. This was unusual because the desert was dry and hot most of the time. Sam's curiosity grew. He pulled out his flashlight and shone it down the tunnel. The walls were lined with tiles, as if this had been a proper subway station once. The tiles were dusty and cracked, and sand had blown into the corridor, but the structure seemed solid. Sam felt a shiver run down his spine. He had seen many abandoned places in his years as a ranger, but this was different. This was hidden, well-built, and somehow alive with mystery. He pulled out his radio to call Ranger Mia, his colleague. "Mia, this is Sam. You are not going to believe what I found. There is a subway entrance in the middle of the desert. I am not sure how old it is or what it leads to. I think you should come here immediately," Sam said, his voice steady but slightly tense. There was a short pause before Mia's voice came through. "A subway? In the desert? Sam, are you sure? That sounds impossible. Are you safe? Do not go down alone." "I know. I am staying at the top for now. But this place, it looks abandoned, but it is too well built to just be old ruins." "I want to take a closer look," Sam replied. He carefully pushed the door open a little further and shone his flashlight inside. The corridor was long, straight, and completely silent. The tiles on the walls were dusty, and small pieces had fallen to the floor. There were old signs, faded almost beyond recognition, pointing in directions that seemed to lead to unknown platforms. Sam walked a few steps closer. Each footstep echoed loudly, bouncing off the walls, making the tunnel feel larger than it was. Then he noticed something that made him freeze. The floor ahead had footprints in the dust. They were fresh. Someone had been here recently. Sam knelt down and studied them. They were small, human footprints. This place was supposed to be abandoned, hidden under the desert for decades, maybe longer. And yet someone had walked through it not long ago. His heart beat faster. He reached for his radio again. "Mia, I see footprints. Someone has been here recently. I am not sure who, but I do not think I should go further without backup. Something is not right." He stood up and looked around. The tunnel stretched far into darkness. Faint lights flickered ahead, but Sam could not tell what they were. He thought about the desert above, the empty silence, and the harsh sun. How could a subway exist here? How could someone have come and gone without being noticed? Sam took a few cautious steps toward the entrance. The air was colder now, and he could hear a faint sound. At first, he thought it was his imagination, but then he realized it was real. A low, metallic clanging echoed from deep within the tunnel. It was rhythmic, like something moving or hitting metal repeatedly. Sam froze. He had heard many desert sounds, but this was not one of them. It was too mechanical, too deliberate. He reached for his flashlight and aimed it down the corridor. The flickering lights revealed more tiles on the walls, and he could see the outline of a staircase that seemed to lead further down. The footprints continued toward the stairs, disappearing into shadows. Sam's mind raced. Should he go down? What could be waiting there? He felt a mix of fear and curiosity. Sam knew one thing clearly. He could not explore this alone. He radioed Mia again. Mia, I need you to come with backup. This is not just an abandoned subway. Someone or something is down here. I cannot see clearly, but there is movement. Do not come alone either. Bring a team. While he waited, Sam examined the area around the entrance. He noticed strange carvings in the sand near the door, small shapes that looked almost like symbols or letters. The wind had shifted them slightly, but they were too precise to be natural. This place had been designed for someone to find it, or perhaps for someone to hide it. Minutes passed, and Sam remained vigilant. Every sound of shifting sand made him tense. The low metallic clanging continued in the distance, growing slightly louder. He could feel a strange energy in the air, like the desert itself was holding its breath. The sun began to move lower in the sky, casting long shadows across the desert. He could see his own shadow stretching toward the metal door, as if urging him to enter. Finally, in the distance, he saw dust rising. It was Mia and the team arriving. Relief washed over him. He waved at them and began explaining what he had seen. This is not just an abandoned subway. The markings, the tiles, the footprints, and the sound, it is something hidden for a reason. We need to be careful, he said. Mia nodded, her eyes wide with concern. We will approach together. No one goes alone. This is beyond what we expected, she said. As the team prepared their equipment, Sam looked back down the tunnel one last time. The darkness seemed to move, almost like it was alive. The flickering lights inside revealed shapes that were difficult to identify. Sam's gut told him that whatever was down there was not friendly, but he had done his duty. He had found it, and now it was time for proper exploration. The desert was quiet again, but beneath the sand, the hidden subway waited. Something unknown had been keeping its secret for years. Sam felt both fear and determination. He knew that once they entered, nothing would be ordinary anymore. The team moved closer to the entrance. Sam's hand stayed on the door handle. The metallic clanging grew louder as he prepared himself. This was the beginning of something that would change everything they thought they knew about the desert. Ranger Sam watched as Mia and the team reached the metal door. There were 4 of them in total, each carrying flashlights and equipment for exploring unknown tunnels. Sam explained everything he had seen so far. The rusty door, the strange markings, the faint lights, and the footprints that disappeared into the darkness. Mia studied the markings and the door carefully. This is not normal. Whoever built this wanted it hidden, but not forgotten, she said. Her voice was calm, but her eyes reflected curiosity and caution. We will go down carefully. Stay close, everyone. The team checked their equipment, making sure flashlights worked and radios were clear. Sam took the lead. He pushed the heavy door open fully while keeping one hand on his flashlight. The tunnel below seemed deeper than it had appeared from above. Dust floated in the air, and the cold breeze from the underground gave a shiver to everyone. The first few steps down the staircase were easy. The tiles on the walls were cracked but solid. The faint flickering lights came from old lamps along the corridor. Some were working, powered by electricity that seemed to come from an unknown source deep underground. The air smelled of stone and metal, mixed with something older, like the scent of a place untouched for decades. As they walked, Sam noticed that the footprints he had seen earlier were still visible in the dust on the floor. They were small and light, but clear enough to follow. These footprints are recent, Sam whispered. Someone came this way, maybe a day or 2 ago. I wonder who. Mia nodded, shining her flashlight on the walls. Or maybe something that moves like a person, she said carefully. Her words made everyone tense. The corridor led them to a larger space, almost like a station platform. Broken benches were scattered around, and faded signs hung from the ceiling. One sign, barely readable, had letters that seemed to spell a name, but no one could recognize it. The platform stretched far in both directions, disappearing into darkness. Sam walked slowly, shining his flashlight over every surface. He noticed strange symbols etched into the tiles on the walls. They were the same as on the metal door outside. No one knew what they meant, but they seemed important. He wondered if they were instructions, warnings, or something else entirely. A sudden sound made Sam freeze. It was a soft tapping, echoing from the far end of the platform. The team stopped immediately. Everyone held their breath. The sound came again, rhythmic and slow, like metal being lightly struck. No one moved. Mia whispered, "Stay calm. It could be something simple, like the metal settling. But be ready for anything." The tapping continued, and Sam motioned for the team to spread out slightly. They moved carefully toward the sound, their flashlights cutting through the darkness. Each step echoed off the walls, making the place feel larger and emptier than it really was. The tunnel narrowed into a passage that led to another staircase going deeper. The flickering lights grew dimmer as they descended. The temperature dropped, and their breath became visible in the cold air. Sam checked his radio, making sure he could communicate with the team. Everything seemed fine, but the silence of the underground made him uneasy. At the bottom of the stairs, they entered a wide corridor. The walls were lined with more tiles, and the floor was covered in a thin layer of dust. The footprints continued, showing the path that someone, or something, had taken. The metallic tapping had stopped, replaced by a soft humming sound. It was faint but constant, like machinery running far away. Sam signaled the team to stop. "This place, it is more than a subway. Look at the design. Whoever built it had a purpose. There is power here, even if we do not know the source. And the footprints, we are not alone." Mia examined the tiles on the wall. These markings are repeated along the walls. They might be instructions or warnings. I cannot read them, but they are deliberate. Someone wanted people to see them, or to be guided by them. As they walked further, the corridor opened into a large chamber. It was dimly lit by strange lamps hanging from the ceiling. The air smelled stronger here, colder and metallic. At the center of the room was a raised platform with more symbols carved into it. The symbols glowed faintly, reflecting light from their flashlights. Sam felt a strange pull toward the platform. It was as if the room itself was trying to guide him. He stepped closer, carefully examining the carvings. The symbols were complex, almost like a language, but he could not understand them. Something about them felt alive, as if they were waiting to be noticed. Suddenly, one of the lamps flickered and went out, plunging part of the chamber into darkness. The team froze. A low humming grew louder, vibrating through the floor and walls. The air felt charged with energy, making their hair stand on end. Mia whispered, "This is not just a tunnel. There is something here, and it is active. Be careful." The team moved closer together, scanning the room. Sam noticed a hidden passage at the far end of the chamber. It was small, almost like a maintenance tunnel, and dark. The footprints continued toward that passage. Whoever had been here before had gone that way. Sam knew they had to follow. He checked the radio again. "Mia, we are going down the passage. Stay alert. Keep your lights steady and watch every corner." The team entered the passage, which was narrow and low. The walls were cold and rough, and water had dripped down in places, leaving small puddles. The footprints led straight ahead, disappearing into a shadowy corner. The metallic humming grew louder as they moved forward. Then, unexpectedly, the passage opened into another chamber. This one was bigger, with walls that gleamed as if polished. Strange machines lined the room, covered in dust but still humming faintly. Their purpose was unclear, but they looked important. Sam walked slowly, careful not to touch anything. At the far end of the chamber, the team saw movement. A shadow shifted, disappearing behind one of the machines. Sam's heart raced. Whoever or whatever was here had been watching them. He raised his flashlight, scanning the room. The shadow was gone, but the feeling of being watched remained. Mia spoke quietly, "We are not alone. Someone is in here with us, or maybe something is moving by itself. Be ready for anything." The team stayed alert, moving toward the far end of the room. The footprints continued, now turning into faint marks on the floor. The humming grew stronger, and a faint light began to shine from a corner of the chamber. It was a soft, golden glow that did not come from their flashlights. Sam approached the glow carefully. The symbols on the walls seemed to react, shining brighter as he moved closer. He felt a mixture of fear and awe. This place was extraordinary. It was old, hidden, and powerful, but its secrets were just beginning to reveal themselves. The team stopped, taking in the chamber. Every sound echoed, every movement felt amplified. The subway in the desert was not just an abandoned structure. It was alive with mystery, and they were only scratching the surface. Sam took a deep breath. "We need to be careful. This is bigger than we thought. We follow the path, but we do not rush. Keep your eyes open for anything unusual." As the team prepared to move further, the golden glow grew brighter, revealing the shape of a doorway. It was different from the other passages. It looked important, almost like the center of the hidden subway. The footprints led straight to it, as if guiding them toward something that had been waiting for years to be discovered. The desert above had hidden this place for decades, but now, Ranger Sam and his team had found it. The subway was no longer a secret. What they would find behind that doorway was still unknown, but one thing was certain: nothing in the desert would ever be the same again. The golden glow coming from the doorway pulsed gently, as if inviting Ranger Sam and his team forward. Sam signaled everyone to stay close. Their flashlights cut through the shadows, but the glow seemed stronger than anything they could create. It was warm and soft, unlike the cold metallic lights they had seen before. Mia stepped forward first, her flashlight carefully scanning the floor. "This is incredible," she whispered. "I have never seen anything like this. The markings, the machines, the glow. It is all connected." Sam nodded. "Stay alert. We do not know what is waiting for us inside. Follow the path carefully, and do not touch anything unless necessary." The team entered the doorway slowly. The chamber beyond was unlike anything they had expected. It was vast, stretching wider than a football field, and the walls shimmered with reflective tiles that seemed to shift in color as they moved. The golden glow came from crystals embedded in the walls, casting soft light across the room. The floor was smooth, almost like polished stone, and the footprints they had been following now ended near the center of the chamber. There, on a raised platform, was a large, circular structure. It looked like a console or control panel, covered in symbols and buttons that glowed faintly. Sam could see levers and dials, but none resembled modern technology. It was ancient, yet advanced in a way he could not understand. Mia stepped closer to examine it. "This is not a subway control panel. It is something else. Something much older. The markings match the symbols we have seen in the corridors. This is the heart of the place." Sam looked around. The chamber had many side passages, small rooms branching off in different directions. Some were filled with machines similar to the one at the center, others were empty, their purpose lost to time. A soft hum filled the air, vibrating through the floor. The hum seemed to come from the crystals themselves, as if the energy of the chamber powered everything inside. Suddenly, a faint movement caught Sam's eye. A shadow flickered along the far wall. He raised his flashlight quickly, scanning the room. Nothing was there. "Did anyone else see that?" he asked. "Yes," Mia replied, her voice low. "It is not the wind. Something is moving, but it is hiding. Stay alert." The team spread out slightly, keeping the glowing crystals between them and the far wall. Sam approached the raised platform carefully. He ran his fingers over the surface, feeling the cold, smooth tiles and the intricate carvings. The symbols glowed brighter under his touch. "Sam, look," Mia said, pointing at a small screen-like panel on the console. Strange lights blinked in a sequence, almost like a pattern. It might be a message or instructions. Maybe it is trying to tell us something. Before Sam could respond, the hum in the room grew louder. The crystals shined brighter, casting long shadows across the walls. The air seemed charged, as if electricity ran through it. The team felt a vibration beneath their feet. Sam stepped back slightly, holding his flashlight higher. A soft, whispering sound began to fill the chamber. It was faint at first, like the wind moving through the stones, but then it became clearer. Words seemed to form, though no one could understand them. It sounded like a language from long ago, repeating in rhythm with the hum. The whispers echoed around them, making the chamber feel alive. Mia took a cautious step forward. It is reacting to our presence. This is not just a room. It is aware of us. Sam felt a mixture of awe and caution. The chamber seemed to respond to their movements. Every step they took made the hum and the glow shift slightly. The raised platform at the center felt like the heart of a living organism, quietly observing them. The team moved closer together, examining the console. There were strange buttons and levers, some glowing, some dark. Sam hesitated to touch anything, worried about triggering something unknown. Then Mia carefully pressed one of the glowing buttons. Immediately, the symbols on the walls began to shift. Lines of light moved across the tiles, connecting the crystals and the console in a pattern that seemed purposeful. The hum grew stronger, vibrating through their bones. A low rumble echoed from deep within the chamber, as if something beneath the floor had awakened. "Step back," Sam said firmly. "We do not know what this does. Everyone stay alert." As they watched, a section of the wall in front of the platform began to glow. Slowly, it slid open, revealing a hidden doorway. Behind it was a smaller room, lit entirely by the golden crystals. In the center of this room was an object, covered by a cloth. The hum seemed to focus here, as if the energy of the chamber was drawn to this single point. Mia whispered, "That must be what the footprints were leading to. Whoever came here before went straight to that room." Sam nodded. "We need to see it carefully. No sudden movements. Everyone stay together." The team entered the smaller room slowly. The object under the cloth was surprisingly large, and the glow of the crystals made it hard to see the details clearly. Sam pulled the cloth away gently. Underneath was a device unlike anything Sam had ever seen. It was shaped like a sphere, covered in symbols similar to the ones throughout the chamber. It floated slightly above the ground, glowing faintly. The air around it shimmered, making it look as if it were surrounded by energy. Mia took a step closer, her eyes wide. "It is alive. Somehow. It reacts to us. The energy, the hum, the light. It is connected to this." Suddenly, the sphere pulsed with light. The hum became louder, vibrating through the floor and walls. The symbols on the console and the crystals responded, glowing brighter in unison. Sam felt a tingling sensation in his hands and arms, like a gentle current of energy. The shadows in the chamber moved again. This time, it was clearer. A figure emerged from behind one of the side machines. It was small, human-shaped, but covered in dust and wearing clothes that looked very old. The figure did not speak, but its presence made the team tense. Sam raised his flashlight slowly. "Who are you? Show yourself," he said. The figure stepped forward, lifting its hands slightly, not in threat, but in acknowledgement. The sphere pulsed again, and the symbols on the walls shimmered with energy. It was as if the chamber and the figure were connected, waiting for the team to understand. Mia whispered, "It must be a guardian or caretaker of this place. Look at how it reacts to the sphere. It is part of this, not hostile but protective." Sam nodded. He lowered his flashlight slightly, careful not to make sudden movements. "We are explorers. We mean no harm. We just want to understand what this place is." The figure seemed to recognize their words, stepping back and gesturing toward the sphere. The golden glow of the crystals intensified, bathing the room in warm light. The hum softened, becoming a steady rhythm. The energy felt calm now, as if the chamber had accepted their presence. Sam looked around at his team. Everyone was silent, amazed by what they were seeing. The hidden subway in the desert was more than a tunnel. It was a secret chamber, alive with energy, protected by a mysterious figure, and holding a device that seemed to contain knowledge far beyond their understanding. He realized that this discovery could change everything they knew about the desert and the hidden world beneath it. The adventure had just begun, and the mysteries of the chamber were far from solved. Sam took a deep breath. We need to document everything and stay careful. This place is incredible, but it is delicate. We cannot rush. Mia nodded. Agreed. We will explore, but we need to understand the sphere and this figure first. There is more to discover, and we must be ready for anything. The team stayed close, studying the floating sphere, the glowing crystals, and the mysterious figure. The hum continued softly, the golden light illuminating the chamber, and the secrets of the desert waited to be uncovered. Ranger Sam and the team stood silently in the chamber, staring at the floating sphere. Its golden glow illuminated the walls, reflecting off the crystals and the symbols carved into the tiles. The mysterious figure watched them quietly, its presence calm but alert. Every movement they made seemed to ripple through the chamber, as if the room itself were aware of them. Mia stepped closer to the sphere, holding her flashlight carefully. Sam, this is incredible. I have never seen anything like this. The energy, it feels alive, almost intelligent. It responds when we move or touch the console. Sam nodded. We need to study it slowly. Any sudden movement might trigger something. Let's observe first, then decide what to do next. The team circled the sphere, keeping a safe distance. As they moved, the symbols on the walls began to glow more brightly, forming patterns that seemed like instructions. Sam tried to follow them with his flashlight, noticing how the lights connected the console, the crystals, and the sphere itself. The more they moved, the more the patterns shifted. The mysterious figure finally stepped forward. It raised a hand toward the sphere, and instantly, the pulsing golden light steadied. The hum softened, vibrating in harmony with the room. Sam watched carefully. The figure seemed to communicate with the sphere, not with words, but with gestures and subtle movements. It was clear this figure had been here for a long time and knew the chamber well. Mia whispered, "It is guiding the energy. Look at the way it moves. The sphere responds to it directly. Whatever this is, it is not just a machine. It is connected to this figure somehow." Sam approached the console near the sphere. He ran his fingers lightly over the symbols. The console vibrated slightly, and a soft projection appeared in the air above it. It was a map, showing tunnels, chambers and passages, some of which they had already explored. But there were areas marked in gold that none of them had seen. The map seemed to indicate deeper sections of the underground structure, extending far beyond the subway entrance they had found in the desert. "This map, it shows more than we expected," Sam said quietly. "The subway is just the surface. There are hidden chambers, tunnels, and perhaps even more energy sources like this sphere." Mia nodded. "We need to understand what it all does. The sphere is central to this. It seems to control or power the entire system. And this figure, it is guiding it." Sam turned to the figure, trying to communicate. "We want to learn, not interfere. Can you show us how this works?" The figure did not respond verbally, but it moved closer to the sphere, its hand hovering above it. Light pulsed in response, brighter with each gesture. Then, to everyone's surprise, small holographic symbols appeared around the sphere. They floated in the air, showing patterns, colors, and sequences. Mia gasped softly. "These are instructions. It is teaching us. The sphere, it wants us to understand its purpose." Sam watched carefully, memorizing the patterns. He realized the sphere was not dangerous in itself. It was a key, a central mechanism that connected the entire underground network. The mysterious figure was a guardian, ensuring the chamber remained protected and its power was not misused. Suddenly, the hum changed. It shifted into a rhythmic pulse, stronger and faster. The floating sphere rotated slowly, casting golden beams of light across the chamber. Shadows danced along the walls, moving in response to the light. The team felt the vibrations in their feet and hands. The energy was alive, and it was aware of their focus on it. Mia whispered, "It is reacting to our attention. The more we study it, the more it shows us. It wants us to follow the patterns carefully." Sam nodded. "Let's follow them step by step. Everyone, stay focused. Do not rush." The figure moved to one side of the chamber, and the sphere seemed to respond, projecting a pathway of light toward one of the side rooms. The glow outlined a series of steps and a narrow corridor that none of them had noticed before. The footprints from earlier led in that direction, but the figure had guided the sphere to highlight it clearly. "This is the way forward," Sam said quietly. "The figure is showing us the next section. It wants us to explore carefully." The team followed the glowing pathway. The corridor was narrow but well built, lined with the same shimmering tiles and small crystals embedded in the walls. The golden light from the sphere faded slightly, replaced by the soft glow of the crystals. The hum continued, less intense but still vibrating beneath their feet. At the end of the corridor, they reached another chamber. This one was smaller, filled with devices similar to the console at the center of the main room. Some were inactive, while others glowed faintly. Sam noticed symbols etched into the floor, matching the patterns they had seen on the walls and the sphere. Mia studied the floor closely. These markings are instructions for activating the devices. The sphere projected them earlier. If we follow the patterns, we can understand how everything is connected. Sam nodded. "Let's be careful. One mistake and we might trigger something unexpected." They began following the patterns, moving slowly and deliberately. Each step seemed to energize the devices. The hum grew louder in specific areas as they progressed. The sphere's projection had prepared them for this, showing the sequences to follow. After several minutes, a low rumble echoed from the chamber. The lights in the crystals brightened, casting sharp reflections across the walls. The devices activated one by one, their hums merging into a single rhythm. The floor beneath the team vibrated slightly, and a golden beam of light shot upward, connecting the chamber to the main room above. The mysterious figure stepped forward again. It gestured toward the beam, and the sphere responded, floating higher and pulsing brighter. Sam realized the energy from the sphere had traveled through the devices, linking the two chambers. It was a network, carefully designed to channel energy and information. Mia whispered, "This explains the humming. The energy is being transmitted, but for what purpose? What is all of this for?" Sam looked at the sphere, glowing and pulsing. "I do not know yet. But I think it is a system of power and knowledge, hidden underground for centuries. Whoever built it wanted to protect it, and the figure, it is still fulfilling that duty." Suddenly, the shadow moved again. This time, it was clearer and closer. The team froze, shining their lights toward the movement. The figure stepped calmly toward the shadow. The shadow dissolved into a ripple of golden light, as if absorbed by the chamber itself. The sphere pulsed in response, brighter than ever, and the hum shifted into a steady, soothing rhythm. Sam realized something important. The chamber and the sphere were not only protective, they were alive in their own way. They responded to threats, guided intruders, and maintained balance in the hidden system. Mia spoke softly. "The footprints we saw earlier, they must have belonged to someone who activated this system before. The sphere reacted to them, just like it is reacting to us now. This place chooses who can explore it safely." Sam nodded. "We have to respect it. Follow the patterns, learn what it shows us, and do not try to force anything. This is more than discovery. This is understanding." The team stayed in the chamber for a while longer, documenting everything, following the glowing patterns, and observing the sphere. They realized the subway beneath the desert was a marvel of hidden knowledge and energy, carefully protected by the figure and the system itself. Sam took a deep breath. This is just the beginning. There are more chambers, more energy sources, and perhaps more secrets waiting for us. We need to stay focused and explore carefully. We cannot rush, or we might lose this opportunity. Mia nodded. Agreed. The sphere is showing us the way. We follow, we learn, and we respect this place. That is the key. The team prepared to move deeper into the hidden subway, following the sphere's guidance. The golden glow lit their path, and the hum of energy surrounded them. The mysteries of the underground network were far from solved, but Ranger Sam and his team were ready to uncover them, step by step, carefully and respectfully, in a place forgotten by the desert above. Ranger Sam and his team followed the glowing path projected by the sphere. Each step deeper into the underground subway revealed more chambers, more energy devices, and more intricate symbols etched into the walls and floors. The hum of the energy system surrounded them like a steady heartbeat, filling the tunnels with life. The mysterious figure moved ahead of them, guiding every step, ensuring they did not make a mistake. The team reached a large spiral staircase carved directly from stone. The steps were wide but worn, suggesting that countless years had passed since anyone had walked here. Golden light from crystals embedded in the walls illuminated the path. The sphere floated just above the steps, pulsing in rhythm with a hum, as if signaling them to follow carefully. "This is incredible," Mia whispered. "The energy from the sphere reaches everywhere. It guides us like a living map. I have never seen anything like this in my life." Sam nodded, leading the team cautiously. "Keep your focus. The deeper we go, the more important it is to follow the path exactly. We cannot rush." At the bottom of the spiral staircase, they entered a massive chamber unlike any other they had seen. The ceiling arched high above them, covered in reflective crystals that refracted the golden light in dazzling patterns. The floor was polished stone, and in the center of the chamber floated a second, even larger sphere. Its golden glow was stronger than the first, and the energy radiating from it made the air hum with power. The mysterious figure moved to the second sphere, its gestures precise. The sphere pulsed, and a soft vibration ran through the entire chamber. Sam and the team watched in awe. The sphere was clearly the central core of the entire underground system. Every other device they had seen, the first sphere, the consoles, the energy paths, was connected to this one. "This must be the heart of the system," Sam said quietly. "Everything we saw before leads to this. Whoever built this wanted it to be protected, hidden, and only accessed carefully." Mia approached cautiously. "The energy is incredible. I can feel it in my hands just by being near it. The sphere, it is alive in some way. It reacts to us, to the room, and to the figure." Sam studied the symbols around the chamber. They formed a pattern that seemed to tell a story. The walls depicted tunnels, devices, glowing spheres, and the flow of energy through the system. It was like a map and a guide, a record of knowledge left for anyone capable of understanding it. Suddenly, the golden glow of the central sphere intensified. The hum grew louder, vibrating through their bones. Light beams shot outward, connecting to the walls, the ceiling, and the smaller sphere they had followed. The energy in the room seemed to focus, as if the sphere recognized their presence and their understanding. The mysterious figure raised both hands toward the sphere. A golden projection appeared in the air, showing an underground network even larger than the team had imagined. Tunnels stretched for miles, chambers filled with glowing crystals, and symbols that indicated knowledge, energy, and control points. The figure's gestures synchronized with the projection, guiding Sam and his team to comprehend the structure. "This is extraordinary," Sam said, his voice full of awe. "The system is complete. It is not just a subway. It is a network of energy, knowledge, and protection hidden beneath the desert. Everything we saw before, chambers, spheres, consoles, it all leads to this." Mia stepped closer to the central sphere. She extended her hand cautiously, and the sphere pulsed brighter. Symbols formed in the air, showing patterns and sequences of energy flow. The hum softened, and the golden light became steady, bathing the chamber in warmth. Sam realized the importance of the figure's guidance. The sphere and the entire system had survived for centuries because it had always been protected and understood by someone or something that respected its purpose. The figure was not hostile. It was a guardian. The sphere and the underground system were alive, aware, and selective. The team began documenting everything carefully. They studied the patterns of energy, traced the glowing paths, and followed the instructions projected by the spheres. Each step revealed more knowledge: how energy flowed, how devices interacted, and how the entire network could function without outside interference. Suddenly, the central sphere pulsed faster, brighter than ever. A small compartment opened in its base, revealing a set of ancient tablets. They were carved with symbols similar to those throughout the chambers. Sam carefully picked up one tablet. It was lightweight, yet solid, and the carvings glowed faintly when he touched them. "These must be records," Sam said. "Instructions, knowledge, maybe even history." The creators of this system wanted someone capable to discover it and understand it fully. Mia examined another tablet. "Look at this. It shows energy patterns, tunnels, and the smaller spheres we saw earlier. The knowledge is encoded in a way that matches the energy network. Whoever reads this can understand the system completely." The team realized the magnitude of their discovery. This hidden subway in the desert was not just a tunnel. It was a centuries-old system of energy and knowledge, carefully designed, maintained, and protected. They had uncovered something that could change understanding of technology, history, and energy itself. The mysterious figure moved closer to the team, lowering its hands. The golden light from the sphere dimmed slightly, returning to a steady glow. It seemed to acknowledge their respect and understanding. Sam realized that the figure was giving them permission to explore carefully and learn. Suddenly, the hum of the chamber changed again. A golden path appeared from the central sphere, connecting to the exit of the subway beneath the desert. The system was showing them the way to leave safely. Sam realized this was as important as their discovery. The sphere protected the network not only from intrusion but also ensured that anyone allowed to explore could exit safely. "This is incredible," Sam whispered. "The sphere and the network are alive. They protect themselves, teach knowledge, and guide those who respect the rules. We have been given a rare chance to learn something extraordinary." Mia nodded. "We need to document everything and share it carefully. This is more than a discovery. This is a hidden system of knowledge that has survived for centuries. We cannot rush or disturb it." The team followed the glowing path back through the chambers, past the smaller sphere, and up the spiral staircase. The mysterious figure stayed in the central chamber, watching silently as the team left. The energy and the glow of the spheres gradually faded behind them, but the golden patterns and hums remained in their memory. When they finally reached the desert surface, the sunlight felt different. The sand stretched endlessly, but now Sam, Mia, and the team knew that beneath it lay an extraordinary world. They looked at the metal door half buried in the sand, understanding its importance and the careful protection of what lay beneath. Sam radioed headquarters. "We have discovered a hidden underground network beneath the desert. It is a system of energy and knowledge, perfectly preserved and protected. We need a research team, but only those who understand the importance of caution and respect should enter. This is unlike anything we have ever seen." As they walked back to their vehicles, the desert wind swept across the dunes. It carried no traces of the hidden chambers below, no evidence of the golden spheres, the glowing crystals, or the mysterious figure that guarded them. The secret of the desert remained protected, waiting for those who were patient, respectful, and careful enough to uncover its mysteries. Sam looked back one last time at the metal door. The desert has kept its secret for centuries. Now we know, and we have a responsibility to protect it. Mia smiled, her eyes shining. "We have seen something extraordinary today. And the adventure is just beginning. There are still more mysteries down there, waiting to be discovered by those who are ready." The sun set over the desert, casting long shadows across the dunes. Beneath them, hidden from the world, The underground network of energy and knowledge remained alive, waiting for the next explorers who would approach with respect, curiosity, and care. Ranger Sam and his team had uncovered one of the greatest secrets the desert had ever held, but they knew it was only the beginning of a story that would continue for generations.